Welcome to Tuesday's Maths. So here we go with number 1. So in this one we just have to choose between plus, minus, multiply and divide. What can we put in here to give us an answer of 48 over here? Question 2, we're asked to find a fraction of 30, and the fraction we're asked to find is 3/5. So we divide by the bottom, multiply by the top. So we're going to take 30, divide it by 5, take that answer and multiply it by 3, and that'll give us 3/5 of 30. Number 3 is a bit like number 1 here. So first thing we have to do is take the 3 times 8 here and find out what that's equal to. And then, so that's 24. And now we have 6 times something is equal to 24. What do we multiply 6 by to get 24? Number 3, 3 multiplied by a half is equal to a half plus a half plus a half. What is that equal to? Okay, so you can do this 2 ways. You can add up 3 halves, or you can do 3 times the 1 on top here. You can take your pick from those 2. Number 5, we are looking for the LCD, which is the lowest common denominator of 3/10 and 1/6. So what we need to do is write out the multiples of each of these numbers. So we're going to go 10, 20, 30, 40. We'll stop there and we'll try the 6's. So we have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. And when we get to 30, we can see that there's a 30 on the top and on the bottom, and it's the first time there's a matching number. So that is the lowest common denominator for those 2. Number 6, we have 18, 38, 78, 158. We have to find out what is happening here, and it's not obvious straight away, so we need to start looking at what happened. What do you do to get from 18 to 38? Well, you would jump by 20. 18 plus 20 gives you 38. Now to go from 38 to 78, we're going, it'll be 38, 48, 58, 68, 78. So this time we're jumping by 40. If we jump from 78 to 158, well, we're going to 88, 98, 108, 118, 128, 138, 148, 158. So that's a jump of 80. Now you can see this is going 20, 40, 80. It's doubling each time. So what we need to do is to go from here to here. We're going to double 80. Now double 80 gives us 160. Okay, and if we put 158 and we add on 160, we add those 2 together, we'll get 8 here, we'll get 11 here. Let's put down a 1 and carry our 1, and we'll get 318, 318. And just to check if we're right, to jump from here to this one, we should be jumping by 160 times 2. So that would be 320. So if we just try 320 plus 318, we should get 638. So we'll get 8 here, we'll get 3 in here, and we'll get 6 in here. So we know that we are right because that brings us to the number that they have down there at the end. So that was quite a tricky one now. The jumps in that were not obvious at all. If you get stuck on that now, rewind through it and go back over it that way. I'm going to just scroll up here. 750 grams is 3/4 of a kilogram. So it's not a full kilogram. It's less because there's 1,000 grams in a full kilogram. So 3/4, what is that as a decimal? Now 1/4 is equal to, oops, Sorry guys, 1 second till I get rid of that. Sorry about that. Now, so 1/4 is equal to 0.25. 2/4 is equal to, we add on another 0.25 and we get 0.50. So what do we need? If we go and add on another quarter, we're going to be adding on another 0.25 here, and that's the answer that's going to go into this space here. Number 8, which of the following numbers is a prime number? Now, a prime number can only be divided by itself and 1. Now straight away we should know that an even number like 16 can always be divided by 2, and 18 is an even number that can be divided by 2, so neither of those are prime numbers, and that only leaves us with one choice for number 8. Question 9. So here we have an angle of 135 degrees, that's this angle here, and we don't know what A is, but what we do know is that if we went all the way over, that would be an angle of 180 degrees. That's a straight angle, 180 degrees. So the way to find A here is take the full straight angle and subtract 135 from it. So we'll be doing this sum here, 180 degrees, take away 135 degrees, and what is that equal to? Okay, that's going to give you your answer for the angle A down here. Number 10, 9 take away something will give you 8.5. So what do you take away from 9 to give you 8.5? Now, we can do that as a sum. We can write it down as 9 take away 8.5. Now the 9 here, we need to put in a decimal and we need to put in a 0 so that we can do our takeaway sum. And if you do that takeaway sum, that'll tell you what y is equal to. Number 11, 32 is equal to 2a. So what is a? Now we haven't seen this written down before, but 2a, what that means is 2 multiplied by a. Mathematicians can get a bit lazy at times and instead they leave out the multiplication sign. So 2a actually means 2 multiplied by a. So 32 is equal to 2 multiplied by what? What do you multiply 2 by to get 32? And if you don't know that, what you can actually do is do 32 and divide it by 2, and that will give you your answer. Number 12, we have 4 plus minus 6. So if we draw our number line here and we put 0 in the middle, that's 0, then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and on this side we're going to go minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, and hopefully that'll be enough. So we're going to start off with plus 4, so we're going from 0 up to 4, and now we have to add on a minus 6, so we're going to go back by 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to land here on minus 2. Number 13, how many sides has an octagon? Okay, and the clue is in the start here, OCT. That means a particular number. If you're not sure what that number is, go and look up the octagon in the back of the book and count how many sides it has. Number 14, we have to write this as a decimal. Now the fraction is thousandths. So if we write our number as 0. Now the first number after the decimal would be how many tenths you have. The second number would be how many hundredths you have, and you need one more to show how many thousandths you have. Now, obviously it's not going to be 0.000 because it's not 0 in the thousandths place, it's 5. So that's how this one here would look. That's going to be 5 thousandths. Number 15, what is the rule? We're going 8, 16, 24, 32. And again, you always with these sequences and series, you want to look at what is happening from one number to the next. So from 8 to 16 is 8. From 16 to 24 is another 8. From 24 to 32, that's another 8. So if we do that, we can see what's happening each time. We're adding on 8 each time. The next question is about this pie chart here, and it tells us that the pie chart shows the number of pets owned by 6th class pupils, and that there were 24 pupils asked about how many pets they had. They were given a survey. So we know that altogether 24 students were asked. And you can see here how many people said they had 3 pets. Now, if you look at this and ask yourself, how much of the pie chart is that? You can see that this here is a quarter of the circle. A quarter of the people said that they had 3 pets. So we need to find out what is a quarter of 24, because there were 24 people asked altogether. So 1/4 of 24 is going to give you the answer for number 16 here. Number 17 asks us, is the number of pupils who had 0 or 1 pets the same as the pupils who had 3 pets? So if we look at the people who had 0 or 1 pets, okay, that's these guys in here and these guys in here, and all together that's a quarter of the circle. If we put those two together, that's the number of pupils who had 0 or 1 pets, and they're asking, is that the same as the pupils who had 3 pets? And if we look at the pupils who had 3 pets, that's a quarter of the circle as well. So what they're really asking us, is a quarter of the circle the same as a quarter of the circle? And of course the answer to that is yes. Number 18. What fraction of the class had 2 or 4 pets? Now if we look at who had 2 pets and 4 pets, that is this part of the circle here. And I think you can all see that that is half of the circle. So we need to put a half in for our answer for this one. And 19, what percentage of the class had 3 pets? Now, we saw that 3 pets was a quarter of the class. So, what percentage is a quarter? That'll give you your answer for that one. And lastly, number 20, how many pupils had 2 pets? Now this is quite a hard one. So if we look at the people who had 2 pets, okay, that's this one here. And if we take that shape and split it up like this, I'm just going to draw a straight line down here. We can see that this bit in here, that's a quarter of the class. And this bit here, if you ask how many of this piece here, how many of these slices are there? Well, there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 1/8. So we want to add these together to find out how many had 2 pets. So a quarter of the class and an eighth of the class. Now we can't add a quarter and an eighth, but what we can do is, well, we can add them up, but what we need to do is turn them both into eighths. So a quarter is 2/8, and if we add 1/8 onto that, altogether we get 3/8. Now, so we know that 3/8 of the class had 2 pets, and we know that in the class there were 24. So, to find out how many of the pupils had 2 pets, we need to find 3/8 of 24. And the way we do that is we divide by 24, divide it by the bottom here, divide it by 8, and then multiply it by 3 up on top. And that's the end for today.